What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So hopefully if you're staying home from Labor Day today from work, getting a chance to play some games, just overall relax, hopefully have a lot of fun today and just enjoy the day. I'm going to be playing some Astral Chain, trying to get that finished up, and then I guess go back to Control to get that one finished up. But even though it's Labor Day, there's still a bunch of news to go over. It looks like we may have got a bit of a glimpse at least at what the next Smash character could be, at least one of the last two DLC characters. We'll talk about that because it might surprise some people to hear about where this character could be from. And then we also have to take a look at the ESA's, the rating that was given to NBA 2K20 despite those slot machines. Remember that? Well, we did get a bit of a response from the ESA about that. And it's kind of funny, but you're going to see just how tight of a tightrope, we should say, that they are walking with this thing. Yeah, just how close they are to getting that Pokemon Red rating. It's getting serious over there. And Guitar Hero might be coming back. We'll go over all of that and more today. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit the like button. It does help out. And get subscribed if you want to stay up to date on all the gaming news that goes on all over the place. Always stuff to talk about. We're going to start today with Control. Yeah, I was just talking about playing Control. And I also talked about how I don't know if it's worth the full 60 just because it's not a super long game. It's a pretty cool experience. I do like how powerful you feel in it, especially as you get all the powers and you get towards the end when you have buffed them. I've made mentions of reminding me of something like Advent Rising, and it has, of course, that kind of that Star Wars feel with like the force throws and pushes and grabs and everything. But if you were someone who was looking at that and saying, you know what, I don't want to really spend 60, well, you don't actually have to now. Yeah, the price has already dropped down to $38 on Amazon. Wario64 tweeted it out, and then it looks like Target is doing kind of like a price matching thing where you can get it in store there. And this isn't technically new for a lot of games. Sometimes these different retailers and websites like Amazon will run deals like a couple days after the game comes out because they don't see video games as like their main profit generator. They just need you to come to their website. And I guess this is a way to do it. Target, of course, wants you to walk in the door. It's hard enough to get people into retail stores anymore anyway. So I don't know if I would look at this as a knock on Control not selling, as we've heard from Remedy a bit here and there that it's doing well. I would just kind of look at this and say, okay, these retailers are trying to figure out ways to get people into the store, onto the website, take the newest video game, and sell it, of course, or a cheap price. Of course, if you've been watching Newswave, you know, you can just go to Walmart and get it for 50 bucks day one anyway. Astral Chain was 50 bucks there, so was Control. So I guess it's marked down $12 from the Walmart price. We also found that Doom and Doom 2 for the Switch is getting an update. Now, if you remember, one thing we talked about for those remasters was that there were some issues. Here's the tweet that was sent out by Bethesda on their Doom Twitter account that says, "We're working on a new game update for Doom and Doom 2 re-releases, which improves in-game lighting and audio to match the originals. The update also brings game performance improvements. Stay tuned for more details." Now, this should work for all of them, of course, because they released it everywhere, but I specifically played it on the Switch, and I did also notice that the sound, as everyone else seemed to, was like slower. So that was odd. There were some performance issues, but it wasn't like that massive. The biggest thing that a lot of people realized was the sound. So, hey, if they get the music figured out and I guess iron out any of the performance issues, these could end up being pretty good ports, I would say, overall. Now, of course, I believe they moved it over to Unity, and that was something that a lot of people pointed out. I know MVG did a very good video on the whole situation, so I would check that one out just to kind of get caught up with it. But hey, an update's good, especially if it fixes a lot of those kind of little issues in the game. And if you were someone who looked at the PlayStation Classic and said, nope, that's not worth $100, nope, it's not worth 60 bucks, not worth 40, I'll get it when it's 20 bucks. Today's your day. GameStop is actually selling it now for $19.99. Their website, as you see, has it printed with this little slash through the 40, and they're just trying to get rid of these things as $19.99. Not only that, it seems they're saying 20% off 2 pre-owned games with the console purchased, and it cannot be combined with any other offer. So you'll even get percentages off of pre-owned games if you kind of throw it in a cart with it. That's where we are with this PlayStation Classic. I bet you if some of these stores have stock laying around at Black Friday, I bet you they give the thing away with like a purchase of a system or something. I mean, if they're selling these things for 20 bucks just to make room, yes, they'll do whatever they can on Black Friday. I don't know if it'll go lower than 20, like I said, unless they take it and make it free with something. You buy this PlayStation 4 that's $150, you have to take a PlayStation Classic. You can't argue with this, you gotta take it. You gotta carry it out of here. That's where we're gonna get to with the PlayStation Classic. But you know what? 20 bucks? is not bad for that, because you can hack it, modify it, do all kinds of stuff, and it becomes a pretty cool little device. So you know what, 20 bucks? Yeah, that's probably worth a pickup. And guys, some of the quick news out of the way, let's get in the bigger stuff. Let's talk about this Smash Bros. Leak, I guess the leak that's on Nintendo UK website, because we have a look at the company that seems to have their copyright on the Smash DLC Pack 4. So I guess that would be the next character, and it's SNK. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Now, I saw this tweeted out by Nibble, who seemed to get it from Push Dustin, and as you're seeing, it's a screen grab of the copyright at the bottom, and this does outline a character, stage, music, and everything. They have it clocked in at 4.19 megabytes, which seems to be throwing some people off, but we'll come back to that, and I'll talk a little bit about why that would be. But SNK, who would be coming from SNK? Well, as soon as that went out there, everyone started taking guesses, mostly around their favorite characters from SNK, whereas the other 90% of people said, what's SNK? And you know what? That kind of made me feel a little old, because it was at one point SNK versus Capcom. Eventually we got some crossovers. I know there's a GameCube game out there that I was going to probably grab. It's like an SNK Capcom crossover, but yeah, they were bigger back then. You can go look at some of their games on the Switch, even as they keep doing like the arcade classic things where you get King of Fighters and stuff. But they are very much so known for like Samurai Showdown or Metal Slug, right? Or King of Fighters. There are so many King of Fighters games. I'm surprised most people thought of SNK and couldn't come up with anything. Yeah, and then of course people who are familiar with SNK, I think they started pointing out characters that could show up. Now, I saw some of the wish lists, right? Like I've seen people Metal Slug. I don't know if Metal Slug is gonna make it in. I don't. I think I've boiled it down to 2 characters, possibly a third one that may just kind of get thrown in there as like I don't want to say an Echo Fighter, but just kind of, I guess, thrown in there. It's hard to say, but Mai is the one that I've seen a lot of people just kind of throw in there, and I'm like, I don't know if Mai would get put in there. I feel like if they're going to grab a character for SNK, it's going to be one of their most recognizable one. So I would say most likely it's going to be Terry Bogard. Here's an image of him. You probably recognize him now if you're not familiar with SNK or the King of Fighters series. But yes, Terry is like their Ryu from Street Fighter. The other one I was thinking about could be Haomaru. Haomaru is from Samurai Showdown. That's the character you see on the cover and everything. But I know he was announced recently for Soul Calibur, so maybe SNK is sending him to Soul Calibur, and maybe Terry is going to Smash. I actually think if I really look at everything that SNK has right now, I would probably say Terry. Terry makes the most sense. I think that's like, really, if you look at it, boil everything down to it, it's their most, it's their most known character technically. So that would actually be pretty cool, I think, to see thrown in there. You get a stage from King of Fighters, you get some music and everything, and boom, there's our 4th DLC character. Maybe they do something with Mai, maybe Mai gets thrown in there in some way or something, but I think Terry is the safe bet here. Now that 4.19 megabytes. How does that work out? Well, most likely what's going to happen here, and I think this happened before anyway, because people have pointed out, wait a minute, that's the same size as like SNK with the Heroines game. Yeah, for like their DLC and everything. Here's the thing. A lot of times you end up getting the bulk of the content in a patch that gets pushed. So think of how we get Smash 3.0, right? The update. And it was pretty big. And you're like, wow, that's a pretty big update. And then you get the DLC character and it's not that large. Most likely what you're seeing is it's like an unlock key, basically. Remember this whole thing we got with Resident Evil back in the day? I think it was Resident Evil 5, where they had the content on the disc and you bought a key that was like a couple megabytes to unlock it. Most likely that's what's happening here. You get an update that has the character and everything, stages, music, all that in it. And then you get a key that just unlocks it after you've downloaded that. So that's kind of where I would sit there. Now, there's a chance that this is a mistake. This could just be Nintendo UK being Nintendo UK and everything, and they've dropped it there. However, some people have also talked about, people who are in the know for some of this stuff have talked about that actually seems about right. So SNK, getting some Smash representation, that'd be cool. Or is this one of the best red herrings ever, and we just get blindsided in the next Direct? I think I'd like to see that, just because everyone's going in thinking SNK, and then boom, Master Chief. Next up, let's talk about an accessory for the Nintendo Switch Lite that seems to only be getting released in Japan. However, I hope Nintendo reconsiders and also releases it everywhere else worldwide, because it makes the most sense for the system that's going to be portable, and it looks like a good way to keep it pretty much protected at all times. Like, it's on there completely. And this is an image of it here. And this appears to be the Nintendo Switch Lite flip case is what it looks like. And it is pretty much as it's described. It seems like your Switch Lite will snap into it, and then the cover flips down on the front, reminding me of what you would get for an iPad or any type of tablet or even some phones, and then you just cover it back up, but it's always on there. A lot of them will have like little magnets and stuff to really clip them on. Other times it just works by, I guess, just force. It just flips over. That's the one thing I'm curious about here is if it does clip shut with some sort of magnets on the edges, just to give it a nice snap. That would be really cool. Now, it appears like they have an opening on the bottom so you can charge it even when it's in this case, and it looks like it's just overall designed to pretty much just always be on it. Like, not really ever have to take the Switch Lite out of it, which will be good for like younger kids or people who just want to travel with it and not worry. They even have like the little indentations there for the analog stick. So that's actually a pretty neat idea, I think. And I hope this accessory goes everywhere else. It might be on the pricey side, okay? It's about $35 when you convert it from yen to USD. Yeah, that might be a little much. I was looking at this like a $20 product, but again, it's only in Japan currently. I guess maybe like PlayAsia or somewhere will do imports for it. Or maybe I just go on eBay and find it. I've been able to find like the keyboards that aren't sold in the US on eBay even. And this is like a cool little accessory. It's a neat thing to see for the Switch Lite, and I think it's a big step up from the cases that we use for the current Switch, and it would be very difficult to do this for the current Switch within this capacity because you have to account for the Joy-Con controllers coming off of it. Either way, though, we'll see if we get something from Nintendo. Otherwise, I'm sure some sort of third-party accessory maker will figure it out and bring one over. Next up, I hope you're sitting down for this one. Let's talk about the response from ESA for the PEGI 3 rating on NBA 2K20, despite seeing prize wheels, pachinko, and slot machines. Now, there is a lot to unpack here, but let's take a look first at their response. It is important to stress that the controversial imagery played a central role in the trailer, but it may not necessarily do so in the game, which has not yet been released. At this point in time, PEGI can only comment on the trailer that has been made publicly available. The trailer includes imagery that is generally known from casinos, Wheel of Fortune, slot machines. Using this sort of mechanic to select an item or character or action by chance is not the same as teaching how to gamble for money in a casino. The differences currently prevent us from applying the gambling descriptor. Now they go on to say that they're aware of all the backlash, people getting annoyed about it, because on one side, here's something like Dragon Quest XI, for example, getting the gambling rating for basically like a casino that happens in there. And then you also have Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, that had their own like game corner that was... It was technically looking like a casino, but man, Nintendo did everything they could to make it not look like a casino and more like an arcade. They even slapped a guy next to you that's like, I lost all my money. Don't bet all your money. Be careful with these machines. And like the most depressed, like basically the bottom of the barrel, kind of like where you end at rock bottom, essentially sitting next to you while you're trying to gamble and get enough coins to then get past that part. But here's the thing. Here is what they are claiming, all right? This is how close they are. If you don't use in-game currency to put into the slot machine and then get something back, it's not actually gambling. What is happening here with the slot machines, the prize wheels, and the pachinko is that these are like daily login bonuses, for example, and that's how it works. You're not actually putting in currency and then getting something back. So they have eliminated that one part, and I think this is 2K and Take-Two being as clever as possible to get very close to it, but not quite at the actual gambling aspect of it. Leave that little part out, because what they are doing is still kind of activating the sensory that a lot of these casinos try to do with the dopamine and everything, the excitement, the thrills of winning and everything, or if you lose, you want more. And then they put the microtransactions next to you. Now, you can't actually take that currency and use it there, but you kind of get the idea of what they're doing. So we're not going to see, I think, a gambling descriptor put on it, but man, is it close. And I think they're still trying to feel things out here to see how much closer they can get, because they want that rush to happen with those microtransactions next to you, because you might just want to buy them so you can get all the cool stuff anyway. It's an interesting tactic, and I do think the ESA is playing into it very, very well, because I'm sure there's some money getting exchanged behind closed doors for this kind of loophole. but we'll see. Maybe they have to change it. In our last bit of news, let's talk about this patent right here. This is actually filed with Activision. It's a utility patent application, and it does indeed show a guitar. And what's interesting about this is this was done at the end of June. It's a music-based video game, provides a user-directed sound generation feature. In some embodiments, the user is provided a video game controller simulating a musical instrument. And it goes on further to describe what is basically a Guitar Hero guitar with images and everything. And this begs the question, is Guitar Hero coming back anytime soon? And it might be. And this is interesting because I thought after Guitar Hero Live, that was it. I mean, we even saw a Rock Band and everything, but like Guitar Hero Live, I think really hurt Activision. They just said, you know what? We're done with it. But a lot of people didn't like it because it had that live service component with it. And if they try to do it all over again with live services, I don't think people are going to be that excited about it. I think if they just went back to the old school where you sell the game with the licensed tracks and everything, and you sell your peripheral and you just kind of move on to the next one and you have different soundtracks in each one, I think people would be way more interested in it. And yeah, they could keep selling the games over and over again with different tracks. Now, I think some people did like that you could build up a large list of songs and you could buy them for $1 or $2 each and decide what you want. But they did eventually get unlisted and they would get ripped down for licensing issues. It was a whole thing, whereas people who had it on the disc could just keep playing it. But Guitar Hero coming back with this patent. Do you want Guitar Hero back, or are you kind of over the rhythm-based games? Let me know. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This one's from Cyber, saying Suda51 had an interview with Game Explained talking about No More Heroes 3 and more, and a question they asked was, are you looking to have a port remaster for Killer 7? And Suda said it was up to Capcom. Well, it's up to you, Capcom. I actually think Killer 7 is I think it's a pretty safe guess. Honestly, that might be the one thing that Capcom is definitely bringing over because they've already moved it to PC, and we've seen a lot of games from Steam that have been moved there get moved to the Switch. Still, though, I would like to see Capcom take a bit more of a risk and do something crazy, right? We just talked about Power Stone, we talked about Beautiful Joe, and I've even heard some people talk about like the original Dead Rising. There are a lot of things they could go get, but if I really had to ask for something from Capcom, I would probably look at it and say, you know what, go get Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, put on a cartridge. I know. Otherwise, though, I'd say get Beautiful Joe. Let's revive that series and get Beautiful Joe 3 on the way, because I'm sure there'd be a lot of people still interested in that series. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, the like button really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it's this interesting Smash Bros. DLC leak on Nintendo's UK website. What do you think about SNK getting representation in the game? Or are you a little disappointed, maybe underwhelmed, and thinking they could have done more with that entry with DLC Pack 4? Also, what do you think about the ESA's response with their PEGI 3 rating? Let me know about that one. I'm sure that'll go over really well. And then what about Guitar Hero possibly coming back? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.